So bottom left hand target on the right hand piece of paper. The Gun Locker is proudly brought to you by Insurite. For information on what Insurite has to offer and how they can help you, visit their website www.insurite.me. Hello and welcome to the Gun Locker. Now, I made quite a bold statement saying that if this is anything like the rifle that Andy made for my daughter, I'd expect it to be able to go up against, you know, the best. And what can I say? Well, pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. Tell you what, have a look at the footage of me shooting outside at 30 meters, the pellet test and the accuracy test, and then you make up your own mind. But I'll catch you back in here afterwards. So this is my fourth test of the day. Just crammed it all into this beautiful bank holiday. Thankfully, prayers are answered and we've had no rain, which is fantastic. We have got a crosswind. It is blowing in kind of gusts, not so bad. Hopefully I'll be able to do this justice. I've just come off the back of doing the accuracy test for the FX Biathlon, and that was okay. That was yeah, that was quite a good test. And I did make quite a bold claim saying that this would be able to go up against the best of them, so you know, in all honesty, that Biathlon's quite a good rifle, so if this compares, then we'll be alright. We're going to do a pellet test first off. We've got 5 different types of pellets to go at. We've got the Bisley long range golds, the H&N field target trophies, the Airarms Diablo fields, Remington Thunder Barracudas, and Diana high powers. So I'm loaded up with the Bisley long range golds. We're going to put a magazine into the bottom left hand target and see how we go from there. So Turkish rifle, well I say Turkish rifle, obviously it's a custom built, but it's using a Kral platform. So the magazine 14 shot feeds in from the right hand side. There we go. And it's ready to fire. So this is just a pellet test, so all we're talking about is groups. And let's go bottom left hand target. Always nice when the first shot hits the cross. Okay, there's a bit of a group there, not a great group. So that's the the LRGs. Let's go for the Diana high powers, see how they perform. And I'll quickly load this up and then obviously get back to you. Okay, so we're loaded up with the Diana high powers, and this time it's going to be bottom right hand target. Again, we're just going for a group. Right, now that's not bad. The bulk of that is within a 5p piece. Let's try the Diablo Fields. Okay, so we loaded up with the AA Diablo Fields, and we'll go top right hand target with this one. A bit of a wind coming in. Right, I'm out. Yeah, that's a nice group. That really is a nice group. I was getting a little bit blasé there. Sometimes, you know, you get into the rhythm, you start shooting, and you kind of ba-bom, 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 ba-bom. And I did pull slightly, but it seems to like those. It seems to like them. Let's try the Remington Barracudas next. So load those up. and we're going to go top left hand target. Right, we're out. Honestly, it's going to be quite hard to pick. Last up, H&N Field Target Trophies. Right, so we're loaded up. And we'll go the centre target. Again, feeding in from the right hand side. That's it, lovely. Yeah, so we got the makings of a group there, but we've got some pellets that have strayed a little bit, so not so keen on those. So choice. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the Air Arms Diablo Fields. Decisions made. Right, well, for the accuracy test we're using the Air Arms Diablo Fields. These are 8.4 grains. I'm going to use 4 shots just in the left hand piece of paper, just to make sure that I'm fairly well zeroed in, and then I'll do that accuracy test on the right hand piece of paper. Yeah, let's see how we perform. And again, with that accuracy test, it's a pellet in each of the outer targets and then a group in the centre target. But first off, I just want to see if I'm nice and zero on that left hand piece of paper. Yeah, I don't need to do any more than that. I was aiming at the image of the 5p piece and I've hit them, so let's get on with that accuracy test. So bottom left hand target on the right hand piece of paper. Bottom right hand piece. Sorry, bottom right hand target. Top right hand target. Top left hand target. Pulled it. Damn. Right, now for the group in the centre target. Mount. Yeah, guys, I made a statement yesterday when I was doing the part 1 review on this rifle, saying that it would go up against the best of them. I've just done an accuracy test with an FX Biathlon. Granted, that rifle's 20 years old, but it shot very, very well, and I have to say that this has performed the same, if not slightly better. So Andy at theGunLocker, mate, you ought to be proud of this. So there you have it. That's me shooting at 30 meters with the Kral NP-03 custom built by Andy at theGunLocker in Stafford. What do I think to the rifle? Well, you know, I said it at the end of that clip that Andy should be proud of himself for being able to create rifles like this. It's, you know, will it go up against the top marks? I think it would. You know, I think whoever buys this, when they're at their club, they'll put a lot of others to shame, for sure. And also, you've got to think about its price point. So we're talking about a rifle here that has a price tag of £515. Doesn't include the scope, doesn't include the bipod, but you've got, you know, the filler probe, and you've got 2 magazines in with that. £515. Now, that FX Biathlon was £899, 20 years old. And if you wanted a new FX, you're talking, you know, what, 1500, 1800 and above. So effectively you've got a rifle here that's less than half the price of that FX Biathlon, and yet it's shooting and grouping, you know, just as well. Now, when you look at those results, yes, the pellets were, you know, I wasn't quite as close to the centre of the bull as I wanted to be, but it was a windy day, and it's a .177. You know, we're going out to 30 meters. Those pellets are going to get buffeted. On a calm day without any wind, I would expect much better results. And also don't forget there's human error in there. That was the fourth and final test for me, rifle test of the day. So I'd already shot, I don't know, 500-600 pellets by then. So not making any excuses with regards to the rifle, but for me, I could have performed better. I know I could. And that shouldn't detract from how good this rifle actually is. It's not to say it hasn't got any issues, because it has, and I've already spoken to Andy about that. For me, I would like an extended Arca rail or some way of actually taking that bipod further out from, you know, where your pistol grip is. It would be nice if it was more towards the top end of the cylinder. And secondly, the trigger, I have to admit, it's not as refined as the FX Biathlon. It's not to say it isn't good, it is, and it's very, very predictable, but it's just not as refined, it's not as silky smooth as that FX Biathlon is. However, I've spoken to Andy about these points already, and you know, there are plans afoot to change that and to make this more of a bench rest rifle. But still, I'm digressing. Let me get on with the ratings that I've given the rifle for the different categories within this section, and I'm going to start off with accuracy. So looking at the scores, the closest I came to the bull was this shot here, and that's 5.2 millimeters away from the center. The furthest away was this one here at 8.2 millimeters. You know, we're talking over 30 meters here, guys, with a windy day. The shot group, for the most part, there's one that strayed, is at 12 millimeters. And don't forget, the diameter of a 5-penny piece is at 18 millimeters. So we're not doing too bad at all here. And we're not talking 5-shot group. I kind of went a little bit more than that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots, you know, within that 12 mil group. And is it pellet fussy? Well, you know what, for the most part, when you look at it, when you measure them out, all those groups were within a 25 mil radius. Sorry, 25 mil diameter, not radius. Yes, diameter. So, you know, was it pellet fussy? No, not really. So it scores 5 out of 5 for that. Overall, for accuracy, when I tot up the scores, we're looking at 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now the handling doesn't score quite as well, because it's a bit of a, at the moment, an unwieldy beast. It's very long. It's 9.66 pounds in weight. So for the bench, that's good because it makes it more stable. But like I said, I would rather be able to put a bipod further up the cylinder as opposed to so close to the trigger. Just gives you a more stable frame. And obviously field work, it is heavy, it is long. I wouldn't take this out on the field, I just wouldn't. So in my mind, it's scoring 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's fair. Now, with regards to loading, obviously it uses these Kral style rotary magazines. You get 14 shots for a 177, and that's the norm nowadays. So, you know, 3 out of 5 stars for that. The indexing, on the other hand, I didn't have any issues with this at all. It found the pellet each and every time when I was pushing that pellet probe back in. It didn't feel snagged, it was just a nice, smooth cocking action. So that got 4 out of 5 stars. So the mean score is 3.5 out of 5 stars for loading. Now, I've already spoken about the trigger. Out of the box, it's good. I didn't need to adjust it at all. It is adjustable, and that's 2-way adjustment, so for first stage and second stage pull. And it's predictable as well, very, very predictable. So it scored a straight 4 out of 5 stars for me. Again, not as refined as the FX trigger, but you know, that scored 5 out of 5 stars, so it's still very, very good. With regards to power output and how it scored on that, look, it does have a transfer port adjuster, so I could knock those power levels down if I wanted to. I didn't go to the effort of checking each stage as I have done with other Kral rifles in the past. I just didn't see a point to it, in all honesty. As it's set at the moment, when I ran it over the chrono, it averaged 773 feet per second, so 773 feet per second, and it only had a spread of 3 feet per second over that shot string, which was pretty damn amazing considering it's not regulated. I was using AA Diablo fields and they were 8.4 grains, and what that meant is that this was kicking out 11.16 foot-pound or 15.13 joules. Now if you use a slightly heavier pellet, obviously that could creep up, so to keep it within the 12 foot-pound limit in the UK, this in my mind is very, very well set up, and that's the reason why it scores 4.5 out of 5 stars. Air efficiency, well look, you've got a lot of air here, you've got a bottle at the back, you've got a big cylinder at the front, you're going to get over 200 shots per fill. Yeah, that's going to happen, there's no two ways about it. And for that reason it's getting 4 out of 5 stars. Noise levels, well, it is threaded with a 1/2 inch UNF to be able to take a sound moderator. I don't bother using one in you know, my back and my range, because to be fair, my neighbours are way off and I'm not going to upset anybody. But I guess if you're using it at a public range, or you know, where you want to kind of keep those levels down, you are going to want to put a moderator on it, because it does bark. At the muzzle it's kicking out 88 decibels, so that's about right for a PCP, and that's why it scores 3 out of 5 stars. Now finally, value for money. Well look guys, I've already said this rifle without the scope, without the bipod, comes in with a price tag of £515, and when you know, link that to its accuracy, it's extremely good value for money in my mind. So that's the reason why I've given it 4.4 out of 5 stars. It's exceptional value for money, no two ways about it. Now what that means is when you total up all those scores, the overall score for this rifle is 3.9 out of 5 stars for the Part 2 accuracy and performance test, and that's very, very high. So I'll say it again, Andy, yeah, you should be proud of this. Needs tweaking a little bit, and no doubt I'll get some flack for that, but in my mind it does. But it's an extremely, extremely accurate rifle, if not a little bit ungainly, but you know, it does the job. It does what it's meant to do, and that's hit the target out at range. Right guys, that's this Part 2 accuracy and performance test over and done with. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And don't forget, we do have that platform. We do have www.thegunlocker.uk, and it's a platform to be used for anyone that's looking to buy or sell air rifles, firearms, shotguns, sporting accessories. You know, just pop on there, have a look at it, support it. It's a good platform, it really is. Well, from me, for now, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.